Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we focus on how to learn the international phonetic alphabet in order to be understood by native speakers of a foreign language. This is part of a mini-series, so make sure to watch the other video first in order to know why we're actually doing that. Los geht's! My name is Dustin. I'm an IT project manager from Germany, and on this channel we create content that helps us to be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to create workflows and processes that help us to achieve our goals. Today we will talk specifically about the approach to learn the IPA, so the International Phonetic Alphabet, in order to become able to master an accent in a foreign language. I will give you a structured approach at hand that will allow you to learn the IPA in general and also to focus specifically on the things you need to know about the target language you are acquiring and about mastering that accent in specific. So let me give you a quick recap first. The IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, is an alphabet that contains all the sounds that there are in the human language. This is an extensive collection which will be way too broad to learn. It contains vowels and consonants in essence. So each language is just using a subset of the IPA. Depending on your mother tongue and the languages you already know, where you have a really good accent, it can be easier or harder to learn another language in terms of the pronunciation. If we want to change something, then it makes always sense to become aware of where we stand, to make it visible. I got that concept from a practice in the IT which is called DevOps. One principle is to make work visible in order to be able to approve things going forward. Of course it can be painful because you suddenly become aware of things that were invisible before. But the principle can be applied to any other area of life. If you want to lose weight, for example, you should know what amount of calories you are eating and probably also what your current weight is. Or for example, if you want to save money, you should know what you have, what comes in regularly and what you spend in order to change something. If you want to learn languages, and since this is a really long process, you should know where you are. So you should know how many words you have learned, how much time you have spent with the target language, or in this case, which sounds there are and on which you need to put emphasis in order to get your pronunciation right. So how do we do that? First, we identify what we want to learn. We'll use as an example going forward that we are an English speaker, a native English speaker who wants to learn French. So let's collect all the phonetics that there are for the French language and put them into tables. All the info we need can be found at Wikipedia for free. I will put all the links into the description of this video. You can easily copy the tables into a Google spreadsheet. I already prepared something for that. As you can see here, there's one table for consonants and one table for vowels. And vowels are divided into nasal and oral, of course, because the French language has several nasal sounds. This is now the basis we use to identify which sounds we need to tackle in order to achieve a great accent. Next step is to compare that with the sounds we already know through our mother tongue, which is English in that case. We go again to Wikipedia and pull up the page for Wikipedia, but this time in English. Now we compare the table of English consonants with the one we just created in French, and we mark in green each consonant that is already there in the English one. After that, we do the same for the vowels. The links to the spreadsheets are also in the description. Of course, you can download them and create a copy and use them for yourself. Now you can see that we have identified all the sounds we need to master in order to achieve a great accent. There are not too many, and of course, as mentioned, this depends on the mother tongue you are speaking, how many there are and how hard they are to learn. And also keep in mind, your accent in your mother tongue can also vary. So if you have an American English accent, for example, Australian English, or I don't know, British English, for example, then it looks also a bit different. So if you want to go with a minimal approach, we can just use those signs and practicing them daily until they work. Click on them and then you can read through Wikipedia and also listen to sounds. Or you just copy them to YouTube and you will find for each sound really good videos, really good explanations on how to form that actually with your mouth and on crutches and so I can really highly recommend that. Be aware that this may take some time, so don't give up and practice on a daily basis until you can actually produce those sounds and you can actually hear those sounds. This way we can now focus on the specific sounds we need to learn. But right now we can't really read the IPA. So for this matter, there are exercises and ways to achieve that, and I want to show you some. So overall, I found a great website that shows all the sounds, so the whole IPA, vowels as well as consonants, including the sounds. So you can really click on them and the sound is playing, and it's really like a slim website that has really good set of information. So I can highly recommend that. The charts we talked about in the last video, it has all the sounds, not just English ones or so, but the whole set, and I really like it. So I will also put the link to that page into the description. Okay, so one exercise I'm using on a daily basis actually are flashcards. Anki is an open source software, and yeah, it's free. You can learn things by heart using that. It's a flashcard app that uses the two principles of spaced repetition and active recall. So let me explain that a bit. It means that there are flashcards which have, for example, the word in front, like in English, and on the other side the word in French. Now in that example, and yeah, you see the English word, and then you try to guess, or you try to come up with the French word, and then you say it, or you think of it, and then you turn it up, and then you see if your guess was right. And yeah, this is how you use active recall in order to learn stuff. And at the same time, you have the spaced repetition algorithm, which makes sure that the cards will only show up at the point where you are about to forget this stuff. And the nice thing about that is when you are about to forget something and in this moment you recall it, then you will remember it way longer. If you're interested in a video about Anki itself and how to use it properly, then yeah, just leave me a comment and I will also create a video for that. We can use the same principle and that application actually to learn the IPA. So there are some really great flashcard decks already, so you don't have to create them yourself. And they can be downloaded for free and used. Let's have a look what there is already. So you can see here, we have, for example, Korean, we have German, we have Arabic, Brazilian Portuguese, Spanish, Mandarin, Chinese, or as you can see, even French. Actually, I learned the IPA for French also with that deck. So I can highly recommend that. If your language is not in there, don't worry. There's also a deck for the whole IPA, and you can tweak it a bit. So you just take a look at the table we just created and see all the signs that you need to learn for your target language. And yeah, then you just deactivate all the others in the deck itself. So yeah, that's pretty useful. So I have the routine of reviewing the flashcards each day, and so I'm of course not reviewing all the flashcards that there are, but just the ones that show up with the spaced repetition algorithm, and that isn't too much actually. So yeah, I can highly recommend that. It's all about having the right routine. So now let me show you how I actually learn flashcards with Anki. So what sound does this symbol represent? So it looks like a C, but wrongly, and there's a thing on it. So what might it be? Okay, this is one of the nasal sounds of the French language. So open mid, back, partially rounded vowel, nasalized. So it's like in bon, ont, don. So this is pretty interesting. You also see the vowel chart that you can see where it's being formed in the mouth, and that it's through the nose. And you can also replay the sound file. Bon, and then you can try it yourself. So that's pretty cool. Then what sound does this symbol represent? So you have a kind of A with a thing on it. So might it be also something nasal? So let's see. Open central unrounded vowel, nasalized, like don, con, grand, and it's also with a vowel chart, and yeah, same as before. And yeah, what sound does this symbol represent? Also a weird thing. It's like an Ö, so you're going forward, and yeah, like this, all the stuff is coming. Not only vowels, but here, for example, we also have a consonant. So let's see how this one works. So it's like an M. Voiced, bilabial, or bilabial probably. Voiced, bilabial, nasal. Mémoire, meur, amé. Yeah, and you see where it's formed. So M, of course, you put the lips together. And yeah, that's pretty useful. So if you also like this video, I'm sure you will definitely love the next one. I will show you how to learn a song by heart, so a song in a foreign language with a perfect accent. Also, if you haven't watched the first video yet, please make sure to do so, and yeah, leave me a comment down below of what you think or if you have any questions. And if you don't want to miss the next video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you the next time.